Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Dr. Redhwan and other presenter. My name is Nurul Afiqah Binti Zainudin and matrix number 272800. Today I would like to present about introduction and necessity for activity-based costing system. So let's go. Introduction for activity-based costing. Nowadays, products are more numerous and labor are becoming a smaller component of total production cost, so that companies must take an attention at their traditional and consider a new system. Activity-based costing system or activity accounting is a system that focuses on activities. Activity-based costing system can be a part of job order product costing system or a process of product costing system. We're moving on to the goal. The goal of management system is to provide a relevant and timely information to management. This supports better management of resources and improves competitiveness in terms of cost, quality, and profitability. By using activity-based costing system, it calculates costs that concerns with managerial planning and controlling and requires them because of needs of management correctness and reliability to compare and to analyze production price. Last but not least, the problem. Product's price consists of costs, which are direct labor, direct materials, and overhead. There is no problem with direct labor and direct materials costs because of they are involving directly with product costs. However, the problem with overhead is which overhead put in the right product. A cost management system's one objective is that to identify and eliminate non-value added costs. Therefore, the problem can be solved with using activity-based costing system. Necessity for activity-based costing system. Many managers became dismissed with their cost accounting system. Some companies began to adopt activity-based costing system because of dissatisfaction with its existing cost accounting system. The reason of activity-based costing system is first reason is that disadvantages with the method allocates fixed overhead, including labor, are often arbitrary, not necessarily related and directly associated to production. Using single pools of indirect cost and overhead application bases such as direct labor hours are no longer considered good enough. In the current manufacturing environment, resources are often unrelated to direct labor. Such misallocation can lead management effort to place the wrong products. If companies want to maximize their profits, they have two options. One option is cutting costs, but this cost is not a solution. Companies focusing on cutting costs are only asking for trouble. For example, Thornton Equipment Company needed to lower its overhead cost structure, but indeed they had trouble because of need of overhead costs. Another solution is to correct their products' prices. This second solution leads to management toward the activity-based costing. Cost accounting system exists to provide information to help executives performing their cost management duties. Developments in information gathering technology had made practical the gathering and processing of more detailed information demanded by activity-based costing. With these reasons, by companies moving to activity-based costing, costs can be better managed and products more accurately costed. The last reason for necessity activity-based costing system is related to the information requirements. Cost accounting system exists to provide information to help executives in performing their cost management duties. Developments in information gathering technology have made practical the gathering and processing of more detailed information demanded by activity-based costing. With this reason, by companies moving to activity-based cost can be better managed and products more accurately costed. As slide shown on the screen, there are several reasons why managers demand it for a new costing system. Firstly, managers do not trust the product cost reported, such as marketing personnel are unhappy with reported product costs. Some products are reported profitable, although they are priced with market price. Sales are increasing while profits are declining. Some products that have reported high profit margins are not sold by competitors. Overhead cost rates are very high and increasing. Product lines have variety and company has a small percentage of direct labor. Lastly, some companies' products are priced very low by competitors. In a nutshell, activity-based costing system aims that to solve problems created by conventional costing system. Activity-based costing system has been become widely used by companies for many centuries because of usefulness, correct product mix decision, controls overheads, and so on. But like the most of many cases, new method such as activity-based costing system also has problems, staff resistance, difficult to implement, timeliness information, and also unreliable information. Companies have been becoming hard to solve the problem as implemented to total quality management. Thank you for listening and watching. Stay safe.
My name is Siti Syazana Binti Dahari, metric number 272623. Today I'm going to present the implementing of activity-based costing. Implementing of activity-based costing. Activity-based costing system follow two-stage procedure. The first stage, identify significant activities and assign overhead cost to each activity depending on the proportion of the organization resource it uses. The overhead cost assigned to each activity compose an activity cost pool. After assigning overhead cost to activity cost pool in stage 1, cost drivers are identified that are appropriate for each cost pool. Then, in stage 2, the overhead costs are allocated from each activity cost pool to each product line in proportion to the amount of the cost driver consumed by the product line. This is the diagram for activity-based costing system, which includes stage 1 and stage 2. For stage 1 of activity-based costing is identification of activity cost pool, and for the stage 2 is overhead costs are assigned to production job. So let's move on to the first step first, which is overhead costs are assigned to activity cost pool associated with significant activities. Overhead costs are assigned to activities such as engineering support, inspection, material handling, machine setup, production scheduling, and purchasing. After that, for the stage 2, overhead costs are allocated from each activity cost pool to each production job in proportion to its consumption of the activity. Each activity has its own cost driver. Production job consume production-related activities. This is the step for implementing activity-based costing. There are 5 steps that leads to the successful implementing of activity-based costing. The first step is define activity cost pool, and activity measure. First, activity must be identified or grouped together in activity pools. Activity pools are the supporting activities that tie into a product line or service. These pool or buckets may include fractional assigned costs of supporting activities to individual product as appropriate during the second step. Companies that use activity-based costing may identify hundreds of activities required to make their product. The most challenging part of this step is narrowing down the activities to those that have the biggest impact on overhead costs. Let's move to the second step, which is assign overhead cost to activity cost pool. This step requires that overhead costs associated with each activity be assigned to activity cost pool. At this point, we have identified the most important and costly activities required to make products, and we have assigned overhead costs to each of these activities. For the next step is calculate activity rates. This step is done by dividing the estimate overhead costs by the estimate level of cost driver activity for each activity. All weighting must be added at this step. For instance, production labor hours should be in terms of weighted labor rate including benefit costs. For the next step is assign overhead cost to cost object. Once activity cost pools and rates are identified and clearly defined, the next step is to assign them to cost objects. Objects are generally defined as the result offered to a customer. In both manufacturing and non-manufacturing environment, this product should have some saleable value to compare the assigned costs. And for the last step is prepare management reports. Once activity-based costing analysis is complete, the cost data should be placed in a concise and coherent manner for cost object and process owner. This communication of costing analysis is critical to justify the cost of the analysis, as often this is not an inconsequential cost. For the conclusion is activity-based costing system does nothing for the organization if the information is collected but no action follows. The key to value this form of costing is that it is actionable. This analysis allows companies to make decisions about product lines, where to direct sale efforts, and to validate the true value provided by capital equipment. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
My name is Ezzany Binti Zulkifli and my matric number is 272876. And I will be explaining about the example of activity-based costing from the Afiqah. Address Electronics Company PLC produced two products of television, which are Giza and Caesar. The difference of these two are Giza is low in unit production, which is 50,000 units per year, but also a more multifunctional and bigger in size than Caesar, while Caesar has a high in unit production, which is 200,000 units per year. Rates for the department is direct labor hour basis. The plant-wide overhead rate is calculated by dividing the annual overhead and annual direct labor, and we got $300 per direct labor hour. Using the traditional costing system, we can see that amount of overhead is the same for both products. Thus, it is using the same allocation of direct labor hour, even it is absolutely not fair, because traditional costing is calculated on budgeted activity, and the result apply all overhead costs including unused or idle capacity cost to product. Therefore, the total cost for Giza and Caesar are $750 and $550 respectively. When the company apply activity-based costing system, this system uses more allocation bases such as material handling, start station, machine installs, manual installs, quality testing, and packaging. Application rate for each activity, again by dividing the loadable cost labeled with A and number of activities while total for each activity are again when multiplying the application rate with the number of activities for user and user as shown in the table. After all, we can get the total overhead by summing up all the total of activities, which are $47.5 million for user and $27.5 million for season. And we got total overhead of per units. For user is $950 and season is $127.5 after dividing the total overhead with the total production, 50,000 and 200,000 respectively. After all, we can get the total overhead by summing up. Comparison of rational costing and activity-based costing system. The ABC assignment reflects the pattern of overhead consumption and is the most accurate. ABC reveals that traditional costing undercosts the low-volume diesel product and overcosts the high-volume diesel product with $650 and $162.5 respectively. Indeed, Caesar emerged as an extremely profitable product. The high-volume products basically subsidize the low-volume line. The cost at the same time affect the total price, which diesel also achieve underprice when using activity-based costing, while Caesar will get overpriced of $195. So the disadvantages of using the ABC costing is ABC will be of limited benefit if the overhead costs are primarily volume related or if the overhead is a small proportion of the overall cost. Secondly, it is impossible to allocate all overhead costs to specific activities. And thirdly, the choice of both activities and cost drivers might be inappropriate. It is all because of activity-based costing system. Using multiple cost drivers and overhead rates is more complicated and more costly to use, and also much more detailed and complex than standard cost accounting. Thank you.
Syahiratul Amirah binti Muhammad with metric number 272958. Today, I would like to present about the ABC system advantage and the conclusion. The advantage activity-based costing system is firstly, it is useful in measuring product cost to be obtained more accurately and making the product make decision and pricing decision made so better for factory management. Second, the firm will be able to identify the relative profitability of the product and understand the cost driver. They can evaluate easily on the investment in the new technologies because they can make decisions on the capital budgeting process. Thirdly, pooling of the cost by the activity areas provide information that may help the manager to better plan and control the cost. It is mean that the information is generated by the ABC system encourage the firm redesign the product to use a common part. Fourth, the activity-based flexible budget may be developed. Flexible is more accurate than the conventional budget. ABC also provide insight for the analysis of the customer profitability, distribution channels, brand, region, and other areas that directly affect the profitability of the firm. This is because the ABC is linked performance of the particular activity on the organization resources consumed. ABC system also helpful a product design engineers to try to achieve a product's target cost with the provided information because the price competitors set for their product to make decision whether that the company have to enter in the new market or not. The ABC system improved the ability of an analyst to estimate the cash flow by separating the cost into the activity pools and identifying the cost drive in each pool. ABC also analyze purchasing department it is work well because the information accurate the cost data. And last but not least, ABC can reduce the inventories and manufacturing handling activities. They can make the general factory overhead to be more decreased. Next, we jump to the conclusion. In conclusion, the firm have to improve their manufacturing system with the automation and flexible manufacturing system to produce varieties product to meet the customer demand. The global competition also requires that every company must continually improve and to be more innovative. The product must to be developed and introduced to replace those that become obsolete. The new processes must continually be developed to make the production more efficient. It is mean that the company must not use the old-fashioned of accounting system that can make the product mix to be wrong. The flexibility, planning, and behavioral consideration that are afforded by the ABC make it a significant improvement over the traditional approach. So that it is shown that the ABC has emerged as a tremendously useful guide to the management action that can translate directly into the higher profit for the company.